Alejado de la gente, ni
¿Les
abro
extraño,
la
mamá?
boca ni sonrío.
Estoy cambiando la luz.
It's nothing short of a miracle to rise from the streets of Colombia to become one of the most notorious drug lords after Pablo Escobar. Yes, we're talking about the dreaded Griselda Blanco, the cocaine godmother of Miami, the ruthless drug queenpin responsible for a crazy amount of violence in the drug wars. The recent Netflix series exploring her journey, featuring Sofia Vergara as Griselda Blanco, has already climbed high in the popularity charts. Apart from capturing her rise in the crime world, the show also captures her love for her family, and we thought this might be a good time to keep you informed about her entire family tree.
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
What was life with her parents like? It's often said that childhood shapes an individual more strongly than one can imagine. Well, as for Griselda Blanco, she did not have the best of starts to her life, and it's not too difficult to trace her alignment to a world of crime. She was born on the 15th of February in 1943, at a time when the Second World War was raging in full force. Although she grew up in Medellin, her birthplace was actually Cartagena, on Colombia's Caribbean coast. She moved to Medellin at a very young age after her father, Fernando Blanco, abandoned his family, and Medellin, as you all know, was a hotspot for crime and drug trade due to the socio-political conditions during this time. Her mother, Ana Restrepo, was apparently an alcoholic and a prostitute, and she reportedly physically abused Griselda at the drop of a hat. She also suffered physical abuse at the hands of her mother's boyfriend, and finally ran away from home at the age of 19. Griselda also had a half-sister, named Nuri del Socorro Restrepo de Valencia, whose life was a complete contrast to her sister's turbulent and infamous legacy. How did her marriages impact her career? Griselda Blanco never had stability in her personal relationships, and her 3 marriages were each instrumental in shaping her career in the criminal underworld in some way. She was first married around 1960, and her first husband was Carlos Trujillo. She had 3 sons with him, but the marriage only lasted 9 years before the couple separated. Together with Carlos, she started a marijuana dealing enterprise in Colombia, and this was her first major interaction with the narcotics underworld. Later, she married Alberto Bravo, who was a cocaine dealer, even though he wasn't exactly a big shot in the drug trade business. That being said, with Alberto, Griselda set up their enterprise in New York City, and the couple started smuggling cocaine into the US. She learned several tricks of the trade during this stage, and her inventiveness and ruthlessness were appreciated by her minions and co-workers alike. The Netflix series suggests that he forced her to sleep with his brother after defaulting on his payments, and she had to go through with it for the sake of her family. However, after she was blamed for the same and the couple had a heated argument, she ended up killing him in a fit of rage. In reality, it's believed that the couple had a lethal confrontation when Griselda accused him of pilfering from their company, and also believed that he was cheating on her. This led to a shootout in a parking lot, where he was shot dead by Griselda. This was a major turning point in her career because following the murder of her second husband, she knew that she had to flee Colombia for the safety of her life and her kids. Her husband's brother and his men would come after her, and this prompted her to make the bold decision of moving to Miami overnight. She killed her second husband in 1975, which is reportedly the same year she moved to the US, and her business acumen took over as she started flourishing as a member of the Medellin cartel. Here in Miami, Griselda had to overcome several challenges, and one of the major problems that she encountered in her early days was that people didn't take her too seriously. She had to fight her way to secure crucial deals and earn the trust of some powerful people in business. During this time, she had a trusted partner in Dario, who did everything from negotiating deals, protecting her, and doing her dirty work at times, even the ones involving violence and murder. After working in close proximity, a romantic relationship started brewing between the two. Initially, they kept it a secret, but soon they confirmed their love for each other by getting married in 1978. They even had a son named Michael, but Griselda's fate with failed marriages didn't really change.
Well, there's no.
How did Griselda earn the nickname Black Widow? While she was known popularly as the cocaine godmother of Miami, there was another nickname that people silently awarded her, the Black Widow. The naming might sound a little harsh, but it wasn't exactly inappropriate, considering the strong allegations regarding her involvement in all her husband's murders. She was known for her foul temper and arrogant nature, none of which contributed to a sustainable relationship. She got married to her first husband when she was only a teenager, and the couple separated by the late 60s. Later, Carlos Trujillo was killed over a business dispute, but Griselda's associates have confirmed that she was involved in the killing, even though she was not charged for the crime. We have already discussed how she murdered her second husband as well. With her third husband, Dario Sepulveda, her vengeful nature once again came to the fore. However, this is probably the only marriage that she could have saved by quitting her drug business while there was still time. Dario wasn't happy with her close proximity to one of her associates, Rivi, and after their son was born, he clearly wanted her to quit the risky life and focus on their family. Their son Michael was only a little boy when Griselda was at her peak in Miami, and after failing to convince her, Dario decided to take a drastic step. By this time, Griselda had also accused him of cheating in her intoxicated state, and she also alleged that Dario was holding her back because of his insecurities. Realizing the risk to his life, and to protect their son Michael, Dario ran away with his son, which was enough to ignite the ruthless fury of Griselda Blanco. She immediately sent her men to track him down, and it is believed that she got him killed in Colombia, and ensured that her son Michael was reunited with her in the US. During her time in jail, she was briefly in a relationship with a man named Charles Cosby, who also alleged her violent nature and how she almost got him killed after she caught him cheating. The Black Widow seemed like a very appropriate nickname for an individual who was willing to kill her lovers over fights and disputes. With a 100% track record in being involved in the murder of her 3 husbands, one simply cannot disregard the Black Widow when it comes to love affairs.
Dixon was shot while he was walking to his car.
All about Griselda's sons. What happened to them? As we've mentioned before, Griselda Blanco had 3 sons with her first husband, Carlos Trujillo. Before going full throttle in the drug business and gaining an uncanny lust for power, her 3 sons, Dixon, Uber, and Osvaldo, were the primary focus of her life. Unfortunately, her sons had as much of a violent and unpredictable life as she did, ending in tragedies just like their mother. During the initial stages of her life, she was always a loving mother, willing to put everything at stake for her kids. Her sons became involved in her narcotic activities, but as she started growing in name and power, her relationship with her sons worsened. They didn't approve of some of her ultra-violent methods, and they also did not appreciate being kept in the dark regarding many of her activities. Dixon became a troubled young man with a severe drug addiction, and Griselda had no time to address his situation. Instead, she kept assuring him with more money and power, which led to the infamous shootout initiated by Dixon at a nightclub. What is more tragic is that 3 of her sons were killed in Colombia, and they became victims of the drug-related violence that their mother had perpetrated for so many years. After Griselda's arrest, her authority and power reduced significantly, and it was an easy opportunity for her rivals to get their revenge by striking her where it would hurt the most. Osvaldo was killed outside a nightclub in Colombia in 1992. Dixon was shot dead while walking to his car, and Uber was reportedly killed during a drug deal gone wrong.
Your youngest son, Michael Corleone, he's still alive.
Who in her family is still surviving, and where are they now? Michael is her only surviving son, and it is almost a miracle how he managed to escape the murderous circle of drug trading just in time. Michael grew up in a problematic childhood, being a first-hand witness to his father's murder and the violent world that his mother was involved in. When Griselda was arrested, he was still very young, and he was raised by his maternal grandmother and other legal guardians. During an interview, he spoke about the challenges of having to move around continuously during his formative years, living with different families during different stages of his life. It's reported that Michael was also involved briefly in drug dealings, but he was quick to realize the need for a separation between himself and his family's criminal history. He currently lives with his family and runs his own business in an attempt to stay away from a life of crime. Michael, along with his wife Maria Ramirez and daughter Faith, are probably the last surviving members in the Griselda Blanco family tree. He appeared in a TV series that explored the lives of those close to drug cartel leaders, and as of now, he has sued Netflix over the depiction of his mother and his family. Marvelous verdict. a tough crime lord conflicted between lust for success and love for family. This just about sums up the life and career of Griselda, who started off planning a short-term goal to ensure a good life for her sons. However, all that changed pretty quickly once she got the whiff of success and the addiction for more power and money became stronger. She did have opportunities to set things right in her family, fix the issues with her third husband, or take some time out to settle the grievances of her sons, but she realized all this a little too late. The Netflix series does well to capture her conflict and guilt, which adds different shades to her character apart from the obvious brutal and violent side that is seen more often. Do let us know in the comments below what you think of Griselda Blanco and her family ties. Tell us if you think it would have been wise for her to quit the business for the sake of her loved ones while there was still time.
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.